Instagram is dying. Instagram is just not as relevant as it was a year ago or 3 years ago, and it won't be as relevant in a year from now compared to other platforms. Like YouTube and TikTok are the place to be. Everything you want out of life is on the other side of uncomfortable. Oh my goodness. Oh. There he is in the house. Justin.
Man,
what's on the whiteboard behind you, man?
Oh, I'm at the office right now, and I had my to-do list back there, and then my fiance came in and surprised me for lunch, so she wrote some things on the board.
What's on your to-do list? Let's hear some of your to-do list, Justin.
Well, so recently I became Steven's social media manager, so I've been like planning and posting his stuff. So obviously I made my Instagram post today, and then recently we've been trying to I have to figure out how to make my reels look cool or his reels look cool. So I'm trying to figure out how to edit captions and stuff like that. So that was on my to-do list today. Obviously, I think you know who Alex Hormozy is, right? So the way he's been doing his reels is super cool. So I was like, man, I want to kind of figure out how he does his reels and stuff like that. So I've been trying to figure that out. But
he also talks about money, so it's a lot easier. No, seriously, like here's the thing I learned from billionaires, or here's how to make $100,000 this week or whatever, right?
This is how I made $100 million. Yeah, it's super easy to do reels like that and hook people in. But
also I wouldn't over. I know you got other stuff to talk about, but I wouldn't over yes, do the editing, yes. But a lot of why Alex is doing well is the content. Like his stuff would still do well with zero editing. Yeah, because it's to the point. Like some of them is just him. I don't know all his stuff, but him just sitting there at a whiteboard writing some stuff down. But it's talking money. It's talking things that other people aren't necessarily talking about. And he's to the point and educational as opposed to just mindset stuff, right? So, yes. And, if you're managing it for Steven, hey, if Steven's going to come on and talk about how to make $1 million, it would do better.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, you're 100% right. But thanks for even...
Okay, what do we got? What's on your mind? So Justin sent me a DM a little while ago, a couple days ago, Friday or whatever. And I said, hey, let's do an IG Live. And then I think he said, what are we going to do next? And I go, whatever. And here he is. So it's not scheduled. It's happening live. Let's go. So what's on your mind?
I saw you on and I was like, oh, I guess I'll hop on. And you said, come join me. And I was like, I started freaking out. And you're like, but no, man, I just really wanted to talk to you because, I just really want to I don't hear a lot of people's, once they've made it to a certain point, usually you just see kind of what the progress that they have now. And I really want to know the nitty gritty details of how they push through this perseverance when they're not really growing or seeing a lot of growth. It's hard for you to keep pushing through, when you first start out and you're only getting a couple views on stuff, or you feel like you're inadequate because you don't feel like you have much to offer. So I was wondering how you really pushed through that beginning, starting your, journey through here on social media. Also just in general, with your business, how did you get that grit and perseverance to keep pushing through when you felt maybe you didn't really, it wasn't really beneficial to anybody else or purposeful that.
Okay, so in asking this question, which hat are you wearing? Are you wearing the Justin trying to be his own thought leader hat, or are you wearing Justin, the social media manager for your dad?
No, this is for me too, because I know you wanted me to keep doing my story posts and it was helping people, but for some reason I still have this part of me where it's I keep doubting myself and my possibilities to, keep posting, what benefit does this have? Also, I'm not really reaching, I'm reaching some people, but it's just, close friends. There's no, I don't know. Some people make fun of me for them too. And I get a little nervous when I see family members, because I feel like they're going to judge me because they're what do I know kind of thing. So there's parts of me that I just recently stopped, and I think it's all in my own head. So I was wondering how you kind of persevere through that part.
Yeah. So one, any friend who is making fun of you is either a fake friend, or you just have to have a conversation with them. I don't know if Drew's still in the house, but I'll poke fun at Drew for things. But if it actually, I love Drew. I've invested in his business. If it actually made him feel bad about himself, and he said, hey, you know what, when you like he doesn't, he's a new dad and he's sleeping 7-8 hours a night.
Yeah.
So I'm making fun of him all the time because most new dad, I remember me sleeping like nothing. But if it actually made him feel bad as a dad or something, there he says all the pokes in the chat, then I would stop. Like that's not the, it's just, there's a lot of jabbing and that, you know, that can happen, especially with guy friends. But if it actually made him feel bad about himself or doubt his ability as a father, would have like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, thank you for letting me know. Right. So that's an easy conversation with your friends. If they're making fun of you, you say, hey, I'm actually trying to make something. And when I see your comments, it makes me feel bad. That's an easy conversation. Or they're fake friends. Like, dump them from your life, right? Like if they can't respect that, then out. Next is if you're looking at, you know, who's watching your stories, I always just focus, how do you keep going through the hard stuff? I always focused on who I was serving instead of who I'm not. Like the fact that 4 people watched your story who you don't know. Those are 4 people. Yeah. And what I did in building my Instagram, like we talk about Instagram or what platform?
I mean, I know like a following and everything is not like I'm not like pursuing, like I don't see numbers. Like I generally do want to help people, but it's just like.
No, but of course you see numbers. That's why you're asking these questions because you're not seeing the growth. But where? Instagram?
Yeah, I guess it's like Instagram because I don't really have anything else. I just do, I guess, Instagram.
Well, so if I'm you, I'm probably open up a TikTok and making content there because it's just easier to grow there. Instagram is dying.
Okay.
Instagram is just not as relevant as it was a year ago or 3 years ago, and it won't be as relevant in a year from now compared to other platforms. Like YouTube and TikTok are the place to be. So when you're picking a platform, you think, well, okay, what are the skills that you have? But then where's this pushing the ball uphill instead of going downhill? You know? Yeah. Sitting on the ball going downhill is a lot easier than pushing something uphill. Instagram is harder. Instagram is pushing the ball uphill. Like the attention isn't there as much, and you have to be better than ever. Yeah. You know, like you have to be better than
the rest of the
Alex Hermosi or whoever you think is great, right? Yeah. So Instagram may not be the best platform, but regardless, what I did to build my Instagram was I would sit in the car at Costco while my wife went shopping. What is Drew posting? Gravesite, here lies IG. Hilarious. And I mean, we're all on IG right now having this conversation, but so it's not dead, but there's the expression that Rome wasn't built in a day. It also didn't fall apart in a day. Like Instagram is Rome is falling. It's not the place to be anymore. Anyway, I would sit in the car and anybody who followed me, I would start with people who followed me. I'd send a video message to each. What I love about Instagram is you can do video DMs to people. Yeah. Like you can't do that on TikTok. You can't send a video. You can't send a message to somebody unless you're friends, which is stupid, but that's the way it is. But on Instagram, you can. You can. If I was you, I would look at anybody who's watching my story. I would look at anybody who's commenting, who even saw my post, whatever stats I had to find a person, and I would video DM them to say, hey, Drew, thank you for watching my story. Appreciate you, man. Happy Monday. Yeah. Send. Nobody's sending that to Drew. Nobody. Yeah. And I know Drew. He's not getting any of those. It's a little jab at Drew. So if you actually did that, he's Drew because he came to your event. Right. Yep. Okay. So, now Drew was much more likely to watch your next stuff. Yeah. Because you're the only person who's ever said, hey, thank you for acknowledging me.
What I want to know is what did you see me and why was you so consistent on trying to get something out of me? Because I don't know, I have a lot of self-doubt that I deal with on my own, but that's besides the fact I still don't understand why you were so insistent in what got you to make me do that.
Because the worst thing you can do, or maybe the best thing you can do for me, is tell me your goal. And I think somewhere in there, whether it was you or your dad mentioned about you. No, it was you. Because your dad said nothing about you. He was too busy doing his event. It was you in the pre-chat on day one. talking about like, hey, how you want to be a speaker at some point in your career down the line, whatever. Like, okay, dude, you're at this event. Let's go. You got, and I was on you for all 3 days. Like, okay, you're going to go. Justin, get up there on stage. You're going to go. Come on. Yeah. And you were giving so much love inside the chat, but like you're destined for more than just typing some comments in a live chat at these events, right? Like that's not the life that you want.
Yeah.
So get out there on stage and make something happen.
Yeah.
And was it the greatest thing of all time? No, but it was fantastic. I mean, your dad even posted something yesterday or the day before talking about that moment again, however many months later, how much of an impact it has. But it's about every day. If you felt like it was meaning something to people, it's nice when in those big moments you have acknowledgement. There's people watching live. You're on stage. Yeah. I'm there. Your dad's there, etc. Right? Great. Now you're back to normal life, and you're sitting in your office with a whiteboard behind you. And like, okay, what do I talk about today? I don't know. But it's the connection to feeling like this thing matters, which is why when you DM people, when you video DM people to say, thank you for watching my story. I hope it meant something to you. Happy Monday. And then you see any kind of response, it's that personal connection to feel like, hey, this actually matters to people.
Yeah. I also have a question. So like, how do you I know you probably like learn how to better deal with it now as you've been on. But like, how do you deal with the inadequacy piece? When I got up on stage, I felt like I didn't have anything to offer because of the minds I was around. Like, how do you deal with, like, you personally, when you started, like, how do you deal with feeling like your word doesn't really matter because you haven't really, like, been there, experienced it? Because, like, I don't really have stuff to back up, like, anything. Like, when I go to compare and try to make these motivational things and all that stuff, like, I mean, my life isn't, like, super, like, successful. Like, so it's that inadequacy piece that I just struggle to deal with, because it's like when I go to make a video, I'm like, what do I really have to offer to these people? Like, my life isn't super crazy. So,
well, it never goes away. I still feel inadequate when I had Tony Robbins on the channel for the third time.
Yeah.
On Thursday. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why is Tony coming on my channel? It's like, it doesn't go away, but you can play it at a, higher game. A lot of the people that I've had on my channels now I could call friends, where people who like I looked up to and now I would call a friend, which feels crazy. Awesome. Like, why are they talking to me? But and I think that's great, actually. Like, I think that means that there's still room to grow and get better. If you don't feel, if you're never in a room that you feel inadequate to be in, then you're always stuck in comfort zone and you hate your life. Like, when you were chatting at the event, you didn't feel inadequate just cheering people on and giving love and chatting in the chat box. But you don't want a life of just being at other people's events in the chat box.
Yeah.
So you need to be in rooms where you feel inadequate. That means you're growing.
I never even looked at it that way, to be honest. I always just kept beating myself up because of, not having that like thing to offer, or feeling like that piece was missing. So
what you need to do is, I went through this for years where I was doing, top 10 rules videos on my channel, and the number one most requested person was me. Like, people would say, hey, where's the Evan Carmichael top 10 rules? And I would always say, like, why do you want me? Like, I'm talking about Oprah, dude. I'm talking about Oprah and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and like people who've done big things. Why do you care about my story? And it got to the point where my team made one for me on my birthday.
Well,
I said, no, we're not doing me. It's inadequate. Also, like, my humble Canadianness is like, I'm not putting myself on. Like, that feels wrong. It's why somebody sent me this.
Wow.
And it makes me feel extremely inadequate. Like, this feels like a big egotistical play. Like, who would put their face on a king? And so he sent it to me, and I have it up because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Because this stuff is easy, right? Like, put up jobs and Janini and my parents. Like, I'm in this, but that's more a tribute to my parents than anything else, right? Yeah. That's easy stuff to put up. But this is awkward. I look at it like I'm looking at it right now. It's right in front of me. And I put it there because it makes me feel uncomfortable, because everything you want out of life is on the other side of uncomfortable. So how do you deal with it? You rise to it, because that means you're growing and learning. Now, this is where, if you make the content that Justin from 3 years ago needed, or even just make the content that Justin from before the event needed, or Justin behind the stage needed before he came up on stage, that is your actual experience. You're not going to come on and say, here's my 8 secrets to building $100 million company. If you feel like a fake, you should feel like a fake, because you haven't done that, right?
Yeah.
If you put out that content, I'm going to put fake on the comments. You should feel it, because you haven't done that stuff. But so this is where you have to go speak to younger Justin and give a message that actually resonates. So you may not feel adequate to talk to the world yet, but you can feel adequate to talk to Justin from 2 years ago. And that's the content that you make.
Wow.
So you should feel more like, okay, you know what? Like Justin now, what would Justin now say to Justin in the chat on day 1, where Evan is telling him, go, speak live on stage? What would you go tell that guy?
I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Like, I never even thought about that when I'm making videos. It always came up to like,
no. Okay, but what would you actually tell that guy?
What would I tell the guy before stage?
Yeah. No, not like day 1. I was on you for 3 days. Every day, I was like, Justin, when are we doing this? Justin, like, get up. And I had to say, hey, I'm not coming on unless Justin gets on first.
Yeah, that was the big push, because Steven's like, hey, we want Evan here, so you have to go.
You have to go. Yeah. So I forced it, being the closing keynote speaker, that you have to come on or I'm not going. So, but what if I didn't? Like if I didn't do that, or it wasn't on you for 3 days, or what if I was just on you for day 1 and then you said no, and then like, okay, whatever. Then you back to regular life. So talk to that Justin on day 1 who has a desire to be one of these guys on stage, but is way too afraid. And so he's just going to hang back and be in the chat and give love to those people instead of actually getting up. What would you tell that guy?
Well, honestly, I would go back to what you said about the other side of uncomfortability. Like, I didn't realize it at first, because everyone doesn't like to, think about being uncomfortable, because, who really wants to be uncomfortable? So, I was super nervous. Like, I was shaking. I was sweating. I was like I was before this call. Like, literally, like, my heart sank. You're like, join the live. And I was like, okay. I'm just coming to watch your normal lives. But no, I think I would tell myself that you need to get through this uncomfortability, because the rewards afterwards are so much greater. Like,
so that's the story that you can tell. You can tell the stage show. You could tell today's story. You could have said, I got to go in 2 minutes to see my dad, or, my phone's not working well, or, whatever. My girlfriend, my fiance, my wife is here, whatever.
Yeah.
A million excuses that maybe flew through your head already that you could have let yourself off the hook for, or you could have just left and gone and done something else. I'm really busy. My to-do list is giant. Look at this whiteboard. We gotta get those things done. But instead you did it. Like, so that's a story. So if Tony Robbins is talking about getting uncomfortable, he's getting uncomfortable on a much bigger scale. He's doing giant deals.
Yeah.
For you, you don't have to pretend to be somebody you're not, but it's still like the courage to be shaking and then to go do the thing, even if it doesn't work out, but just the willingness to try to do the thing. You can share that message and then share the story of what happened. You can also share why you haven't posted. How many people can relate to their friends or their parents or their family seeing their content and now they stop posting?
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
So you share a story, right? Like, that's your truth.
Yeah. That's it. Like, I didn't even think about this stuff. It was always kind of, what am I going to be posted about? Like, not what I would tell myself before. And that's a good way to look at it, because you can always keep telling yourself your past selves. You can go through all these situations in your head of things you should have done before with all the knowledge you have now. So
yeah, and that's a great video. Like every time there are moments when you're riding a horse and you're crushing and you're galloping and the message will be a lot more inspiring and uplifting and like keep going. And there'll be times where you fall off the horse, like you've fallen off the horse, right?
Yeah.
Like you haven't posted in however many weeks or months.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a different message. And the message, it's like the message that you need now that you would give yourself is still a message other people need too. How many people have fallen off the horse? How many people posted? How many people here watching live have posted and then haven't posted for another week or month? You know?
Yeah.
Like even my first video, it was like 3 months later that I posted the next one or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? So the content is always like either what you need right now or what you would tell younger you. And if you're struggling right now and you're down, then you need the message right now. And if you're feeling great, then you're talking to younger you and you're sharing that message out there.
Wow. Yeah. That's honestly crazy to think about, to be honest. Yeah. Cause I always struggled, like just trying to get on and be like, man, like, what am I supposed to be talking about? I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but if I can talk to myself, it makes it so much easier because then it can become relatable instead of trying to fit in with everybody else going on. I can just be talking to myself. And like, do you still use this like for yourself? Like nowadays, like when you do, like, I'm assuming there's days where you don't get motivated to go do something or be talking about something. Do you still go back to like, what would I be telling myself back then?
Well, just pause for a second because you said I don't feel comfortable talking about it, and so I stop. You can't let that be a good enough reason. Like use that as a trigger. Okay. Anytime you catch yourself saying, hearing, writing, texting, thinking, I don't feel comfortable, that means you have to go do the thing.
Man, how do you even get yourself motivated to go do that thing though? Like, how did you push through that barrier?
But this is the thing. Like, this is why it works so well. It cuts through. Motivation is a brain thing. It cuts through. Like now you have to do it because you said it's a trigger, and you can use the people in your life. Use your wife. Use your dad. Use anybody else who's around you. Anytime you just said, I didn't post because I didn't feel comfortable enough to have a message. And you have accepted that as a good enough reason for you not to post. Yeah. So you're, and this isn't just a Justin thing. This is a everybody thing. We all have like the reasons that we let ourselves off the hook. For you, it was, I don't feel comfortable doing it. So therefore I'm not going to do it. And that's just normal life. I don't feel comfortable, so I won't do it. But it's not actually who you want to be. You don't want to be the guy who's just always comfortable because then you're stuck knowing that you could do a lot more and staying stuck where you are. Yeah. So whenever you say, that's why I didn't answer your questions. Like, okay, I reject the premise of it because of the setup to it. Yeah. When you lead with, I don't feel comfortable, so I'm not going to do it. You won't catch it all the time. But when you do catch it, I don't care. Like whether you're motivated or not, the fact that you said that means you have to go off and do it just to show yourself. Wow.
No, yeah, that's crazy good. That's so helpful. Like, and that's the thing that, like, also like me being motivated right now to go do stuff and making sure to do like the thing that I find a lot of people do, and I'm super guilty of it too, is like you go to these events or something and you feel super hyped up for these couple days, and like the week following you're super good and you're hyped up and you're doing great, and then you get back to your real life and you get back into that comfortability zone to where you're just like, okay, now I don't really want to do these anymore, and you kind of just fall off and you let yourself just kind of sink.
Well, okay, so the double-sided coin for you, one is, again, whenever you're feeling uncomfortable, you have to go off and do the thing to start to break that habit. And two is the connection piece. Like you're not doing it because you feel like nobody cares and it's not having an impact, and you're just by yourself feeling stupid in your home office or whatever, recording a video. It's like, this feels dumb. Why am I doing this? Right? So, right?
Yeah.
So, so it's the connection to other people. That's why when you send, even me, I know how important it is to send video messages to people. I'm still blown away by how important they are. Yeah. I go on a morning walk every day and I'll take out my phone and I'll message. Sometimes it's mover maker. Sometimes it's random people who follow me. I did this Friday. There was a girl who followed me So I went to check out her Instagram, and she had a podcast, Get Lit Up with LT or something like that. So
Okay.
I messaged her, say, hey, when am I going to be a guest on your show?
Oh,
Like
wow.
she just launched her show.
Wow.
And then she wrote back. She's like, is this a bot or are you trolling me? Like in her mind, these are the two answers. It's a bot or I'm trolling her. Those are the only two scenarios. Right?
Yeah.
So I video messages, hey, LT, this is neither. I want to come on your show. When are we making this happen? You know? And then, you know, she was blown away. But like I forget myself how valuable those videos, even though I do them pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So while you're making the videos, you may not feel like this is stupid. Why am I sending a message to Hanu or Springfield School or Ms. Janakan? Like, what am I sending? Why am I sending? But then when you see the response, like Justin, man, thank you so much. It's the connection.
Yeah.
You love the connect, and me too. I love the connection of being at an event. I'm FOMOing out hard because we just had a huge annual event that I was supposed to be at but couldn't get to, coming from Canada, and everybody's having a great time. I'm FOMOing watching the live stream. Like, I should be there. Why am I not there?
Yeah.
You know, I'm missing the connection. So, but you can always get the connection whenever you want, but just going to your phone and making some video messages to people.
Yeah, that's very true. I know one thing that shocks people a lot is on Steven's business side, when he goes and like actually talks to the person and knows their like children's names and like he's talking to them and having connection rather than just being a boss or like, you know, being the CEO. He's like that other person of connection where he's trying to, you know, talk to them, see their personal connection, and it actually changes their whole perspective. Like I've had people come up to me talking about them like, I didn't expect him to do this. Like it changes their whole perspective of you, and then it also makes it feel like
but you know it, but you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they're not just, you're looking at your story and you see 8 people looked at it and you feel like a loser because 5 of them are your friends or family and only 3 random people looked at your story. I'm just pulling out numbers. I don't know what you're getting, but you're looking at those 3 random people as like, that sucks. Mm-hmm. But those are 3 people, you know, like, hey, Sirbeck01, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here in our chat. Thank you. Yeah. I am Brookshire. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for joining us here on a Monday afternoon. I appreciate you. Like, that stuff means something.
Yeah.
And when you only have 3 random people who are watching your thing, don't treat them as random people. Treat them as these people came into my home and I'm going to welcome them.
Yeah.
And then it feels a lot more special for both of you.
Yeah, it's that perspective piece, because you can always look at it like, man, I only got like 25 views or something like that, but you can also imagine like 25 people being in front of you in real life.
Dude,
like,
25 views, that's amazing. I gave you 8.
Yeah.
You just 3x'd your whole thing. This is fantastic.
Yeah. So it's like, it's the perspective.
You need to bake that. You need to bake that in homework, like 20 minutes a day of messaging people video on Instagram.
Yeah.
Every day. Like I would do it early in the day, whether you go out for a walk or on your way to the office or, well, not if you're driving, but 20 minutes a day in your morning routine where you're messaging people, video DMing people. Yeah. Either people who saw your story, either people who follow you on Instagram. How many people follow you on Instagram?
I think 400 and some change.
Perfect. So great. Those are 400 messages. Like you're not going to get through 400 people even every week.
Yeah. So you're saying just go through all those followers and just send them messages?
No, but see, did you catch yourself? You said you were about to send them random messages.
Yeah.
They're not random. They're intentional. Like these are people who follow you, man, who care about what you've got to say. They chose to follow you first. Now, it doesn't mean like they're waiting for your next post and you're a king to them or something, but they invested enough time to say, hey, I like what this guy has to say.
Yeah.
And you message them, 20 people a day, and you just thank them. Hey, who do we got here? Hey, Coach DJ. Thank you so much for following me on Instagram. I really appreciate you. Hope you have a great Monday. I'm on my way to the office. Look at the sunrise. Happy Monday.
Wow, yeah.
Send. Next.
Yeah, I never even thought about doing that. That's just...
Hey, Shubhab Ki Kalam. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You can ask the question. You can just recognizing them and just saying thank you. So it makes you feel like these are cute. These are, dude, if you were getting up on stage and 440 people were out there in the audience, you think you were nervous to get up and do it with like however many people were there. Now imagine you got 400 people.
Oh, I would.
You would have a heart. You'd be vomiting and have a full-on panic attack backstage.
Oh yeah,
but sure. you have these 400 people who are following you on Instagram. You just have to feel the connection. That's all that's missing. It's like you don't feel like it matters to anybody. And so in sending a video message, you make yourself feel better, but you also make them feel great.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like Amelie here says, I love this conversation. Hey, Amelie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for bringing love to our community. You know, like in recognizing Amelie makes me feel better, and it probably makes Amelie feel a little bit better too. Like most people are not. Think about the last time somebody sent you an email, or how many times we load up our phone when somebody calls us. Are we actually happy that the message is there? Probably not. You know, it's like more work or problems or drama.
Yeah.
Who is messaging you saying, hey, Justin, dude, I'm thinking about you. Hope you have a fantastic week. Keep going. Like nobody's doing that.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what makes you so like genuine, because you actually go out of your way to do this for people where other people wouldn't.
Yeah, but you can do that. This is not
oh yeah.
It's not even that genius. You take out your phone. It'll make you feel better, and it'll make them feel better, because nobody is giving. Chances are the people who are following you also have a tiny following, if any.
Yeah.
You're probably already bigger at 400 people than half the people who are following you.
Yeah.
And nobody's recognizing them, and nobody's saying, I see you, and nobody's wishing them. Their family is probably not even wishing them a great Monday. Hey, it's Monday. We got goals. Let's get out there. Hope you have a great week. Chances are their family didn't even wish them a great week or a happy Monday. Chances are their family's telling them they're a piece of garbage and they're not going to amount to anything and they should quit this thing.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden here's Justin popping in, giving them like the greatest speech of their life, even though it's 8 seconds of you walking on the street saying, I'm thinking about you. Have a great Monday.
Yeah. Wow. That's like so true. I mean, I know I especially struggle with that piece of, you know, you don't even get that, piece from your family of like, hey, you're doing a great job. And to hear some random, like, not random person, I keep saying random, but to hear some person come to you and say like, hey man, you're doing a great job. Let's go get this money. Let's go get after it. Like could actually change their perspective of how they go and live that day. Like I know.
And they're following you.
Yeah.
So they like you for some reason, right? You don't just follow people who you hate. So they like you for some reason. They would hopefully recognize you, maybe not, but still, when you send a message, you're building up like it's a great strategy, but it'll make you feel good and it'll make them feel good. And what it does is makes you feel like the content that you're making matters.
Yeah.
When you can make the personal connection, you're much more likely to follow through. I remember when I started on Snap, I followed a bunch of like the people on my team. And there was one guy on my team who would watch all of my stories. And for whatever reason, I couldn't understand why I was getting like 3 views on a story, 6 views on a story, 2 views on a story. I didn't understand. Why is nobody watching? Am I that bad? Like, why is nobody watching my stuff? But because this one guy was watching my stories, I'm going to keep going because I'm going to change his life, because there's another chance for me to connect with him, even though for whatever reason. Now, I later realized my account was not publicly visible. So you had to be a friend of mine to be able to actually see the content. It was a private account, which I didn't know existed on Snap at the time. But the mistakes you make in the early, but I still kept going because this one guy I knew was going to be watching my stuff. Yeah. And so I'm still doing that every day, but I'm not doing it. I can't hit everybody. Like there's not even enough hours. Even if I did this full time, just video DMing people, it grows to a size where it's just not feasible anymore. But I still do it every day because it's a part of my connection to feeling like what I do matters.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you have 400 people, you could do 20 people a day.
Yeah. I mean, and that just proves like your whole thing about like, you want to be here to serve. So like,
but
like,
so do you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
It's don't make it about me. Don't make it about me. It's humbling. It's great. Thank you. I received that. But it's about you. Like, we're all built to serve.
Yeah.
Your only problem is you feel like, one, you don't have a message and it's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're talking to ourselves or younger you. And two, you're missing the connection. If every day there was a new event happening at your studio, it'd be super easy.
Yeah.
You have to manufacture the connection so that you're not just bouncing from one high to the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do that by making the video messages every day. And when you see people writing back, making videos back, saying how much that meant to them, the stuff I'm sending is not life-changing, dude.
Yeah.
Right? Brant Song, dude, thank you for joining us here today. I hope you have a fantastic Monday. I appreciate you being here. That's it. Send.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah. When I first started, I was really, really like struggling for that, inadequacy piece. And then someone messaged me and they were like, man, I actually really needed this today. They're like, I was really struggling today. And they appreciated, like, I didn't even know this person really, like, we didn't really talk much. And I was like, I thought you didn't really like me. And then now you're messaging me that you needed this piece today. So, and that was actually a couple of weeks ago. And then I've been having support from my parents and stuff. It's just, I wasn't even thinking about, reaching out to people, talking to them. I always thought I had to have something crazy to offer that was, beneficial to like all these people, but it's really that personal connection, like you said. Like, I need to have that connection. That's what really matters. Not what I.
Brant Song just wrote back, says hi, LOL. See, I mean, now we've now. Did we change Brant Song's life? No, but did we bring a smile to his face? Yeah, I hope so. Right. And if we didn't for Brant Song, then hey, whoever Janice Jensen, Humans Love to Connect. Yes, Janice, we love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right? You do that 20 times, you're going to get a couple people who write back. Like, some people won't see it, some people won't open it, whatever. But you'll get enough people who see it and write back that it makes them feel valuable, but makes you feel valuable. And if you feel valuable with your message, then you're much more likely to post again tomorrow.
Wow, that's like extremely encouraging. Like, it's better than just hearing like the motivation is more. Once you make it more personal, it becomes so much more different. Like, than just trying to be motivating or to encourage a bunch of people. Once you make it a personal connection back to yourself, or the fact that you just want to see that one person and have that connection with that person, no matter how many views or whatever you're getting, it makes it so much more like, I can't even think of the word. It makes you just want to do it more.
Okay, so now you just got to do it. So 20 minutes every day, starting right now, as soon as we're done with this. And if your dad gives you a hard time because you're not doing work on his stuff, say, Evan Carmichael told me to do this. And if I don't do it, he's not speaking at your next event.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell him that. Hey, listen, Evan told me to do this, and if not, he's not coming. So I can do this.
Yeah, perfect. And then you better do it. 20 minutes a day, and then just watch how it changes.
Yeah.
As you see some of the comments come back, you'll feel a lot more motivated to go and make more content because you feel like the connection is there and it's actually serving, even if it's never where we want it to be. Why am I not at 10 million subscribers on YouTube?
Yep.
Where's my diamond plaque? What's with these gold things, dude? Where's my diamond?
Yeah.
It's like, it's never where you want it to, but that's good. That means there's growth, because when you accomplish, this is like when you beat a game, when you've done everything you need to do, then it gets boring. You always want to have something to grow towards. So again, feeling uncomfortable is a sign that you're doing the right thing.
Wow. Man,
20 minutes every day.
I really appreciate it.
So proud of you, Justin, says Sky Joe Bressett. Do you know
that
Sky
is my
Joe
fiance? That is my fiance.
Oh, there we go. Okay. See? Okay.
Yeah.
Sky, this guy has a lot of talent. You got to be on him. You got get your heel out and like jab him in the back if he's not doing his 20 minutes. 20 minutes every day. He's got to get out there. Sky, this guy's got talent, right? I mean, I was told you wouldn't marry him. Why would you marry this guy? He had no talent. This guy's got a lot of talent. He's got a huge heart. We need to kick his butt together. You're around him a lot more than I am, so you can actually kick his butt.
Oh.
He really does. I'm so proud. Perfect. Now we got to make him proud of himself, which is from doing this work.
Well, I really appreciate that. You've
If we keep going, Sky, we're going to make him cry. I'll nail him every day. Perfect. Yes. Every day.
Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate that. You definitely, it's crazy the fact that you even took time to talk to me and you wanted me to be on stage and all that. Like, I was just blown away by that fact. So I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you even telling me to hop on this live and having a conversation with me. I know you're busy and you got a lot of stuff going on, but this really means a lot to me. So I really appreciate it.
Let's go. Sky says, I'll kick him for you every day. Awesome. But kick him for him. Don't kick him for me. Kick him for him. Because we need to get him off this roller coaster of like just having those high moments and falling back down.
For sure.
And it's in those daily consistencies, that 20 minutes a day, that'll make all the difference.
Yeah. About getting that habit and staying in it instead of just doing it for a week and then falling off for 3 weeks and then going back to a week again and then falling off. Yeah.
All right.
This conversation was amazing.
Starting right, Sky, he's got to do it right now. Sky, you take that lunch away from him. He's not allowed to eat unless he hits his 20 minutes. You eat that lunch in front of him. He's not allowed to eat it unless he does his 20 minutes.
She's really going to be on me now. I'm going to get home.
Good. I hope so. Yes.
I hope so.
He's going to be sick of me doing your 20 minutes every day. No, he won't. He'll love you. He'll say, thank you. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for telling me that I had something.
Yeah. Well, again, man, thank you so much for this. I mean, I really, really, really appreciate this. Definitely wasn't needed, and I appreciate it, man.
So you win by making it. You want to thank me? Do the work. I'm an acts of service guy, not a words of affirmation. Your words mean zero. Let's go do some work.
Okay. All right.
All right. We love you, Justin. We love you, Sky. Have a great week. 20 minutes. Make it happen.
Thank you, man. Love you.
If you want to see another awesome one-on-one I did with an entrepreneur just like you, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Facebook organic is terrible. You will attract people who see themselves in your story and feel like, if Samar can do it, maybe I can too.